friends, it's Alexa, and today I'll be talking about my January TBR. Fresh new start, we're gonna talk about what I'm planning to read in January, which, ooh, almost gonna drop it, includes all of these books. Hopefully I will get that done. So, first, I would like to read Monstrous, which is a graphic novel by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. I don't really know much about this, but all I needed to know when I picked it up was that it had an Asian main character, it was a graphic novel, and it had a fantasy bent. Monstrous is the story of Micah Halfwolf, and she is the survivor of a war between humans and their arch enemies who are known as the Arcanics. And faced with hatred and oppression and all of that, she delves deeper in her search for her own history and her own mysterious past, and she is trying to figure that out all while she's being chased down by other people. So that sounds pretty epic. Can't wait to check this one out. The next book that I'm planning to read in January is The Inside of Out by Jen Marie Thorne. And this cover is so summery, but I'm gonna read it in winter anyway. This is about a girl named Daisy, and she is extra supportive of her best friend Hannah when her best friend Hannah decides to come out. And so Daisy becomes the sort of girl that is an ally for the LGBTQIA+ community. And so people start assuming that she herself is part of that community. And all of this starts escalating into this thing where she meets a reporter who wants to interview her, and before she knows it, everything has spun out of control, and Daisy is forced to deal with the consequences on her friendship with Hannah, on her feelings for the journalist, college journalist, and a whole lot of other things. And I really enjoyed Jen Marie Thorne's first book, The Wrong Side of Right. It was really good, and I'm hoping that I will find this one just as interesting and good as the first one. The next book that I'm planning to read this month is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, sorry. And this is a book about two teenagers. Natasha is Jamaican, and her family are actually being deported. She and her family are actually being deported back to Jamaica, and she is determined on this very day in New York to find a way around that. And Natasha is the kind of person who believes in facts and in science. And then we have Daniel, who has parents who are determined for him to become a doctor and to live out all their expectations, when really he wants to be a poet. And he is supposed to be going to an interview for Yale today, but he has decided to not. And these two meet, and this one day in their lives will pretty much alter the course of the rest of it. And I've heard a lot of praise for this book, and I'm really, really curious. Her first book was so quick to read and really enjoyable, and I hope that this book will also be just as interesting and wonderful. And then we have a book that Kristen over at Super Space Chick recommended to me, and that book is The Architect of Song by A.G. Howard. And this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which is all I really wanted to know about it when I read it, except that apparently it has a paranormal twist. If that's not enough for you to want to pick up this book, I don't know what is. I will be picking up this book and letting you guys know what I think. And then we have a book by an author that I really adore, and that book is Wildwood Dancing by Juliet Marlier, and I really want to read more of her books this year. So I'm gonna start with this one because my friend Hannah from So Obsessed With has read it and really enjoys it. I'm gonna read the back for you because it sounds lovely. 5 adventurous sisters, 4 dark creatures, 3 magical gifts, 2 forbidden loves, 1 enchanted frog. Cross the threshold into the wildwood and enter a land of magic, daring, betrayal, and true love. Does that just not sound lovely? It sounds so fairy tale-ish, and I love those kinds of reads, so definitely looking forward to this. And then we have The Scorpion Rules by Erin Bow, which I've heard pretty great things about. All of the different countries or planets or whatever it is, I don't know if it's science fiction or not, they have to send in one child as a hostage in order to be able to rule. And if they decide to start a war or anything like that, the hostage is killed. Crown Princess Greta is one of those people. She's been sent to the school as a hostage, and she only has to survive until her 18th year. So she and her peers are pretty much like doing what they're told and obeying all the machines that are, you know, taking care of them there, until someone shows up and changes the entire dynamic there. I mean, I really like the concept of the whole like having one kid as a hostage in order to prevent wars from starting. That's interesting because I don't know how that would work as a peacekeeping tool. So I'm looking forward to diving into this one. The Circle by Sarah B. Elfgren and Matt Strandsberg, and this is the first book in the Engels Ford trilogy. And all I really know about this is that it's, I think, 6 girls who are drawn together and they become powerful witches. And there's a lot of different things going on in this book. and I think it sounds interesting. The reason I actually wanted to read it is because I read this review from Ellis over at Paper Riot. I'm gonna link to that down below, and she made it sound really dark and interesting and complex, and I always find those books kind of interesting to check out. Here you have it, guys. These are all the books that I have on my January TBR. I'm actually participating in a bunch of readathons. I'm doing the Dumbledore's Army readathon, I'm doing the Diversathon at the end of the month, and I'm also doing the biannual bibliothon. So here's to hoping a lot of reading gets done. What will you guys be reading in January? I would love to hear. And if you read any of the books that are on my TBR, I would love to know what you thought. If you guys want to find me online, I have all my other social media links down below. I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys for another video soon. Bye!